presents a new upcoming class. Stay tuned. Sacred Bonds by Darrell Abdullah Kirk. Yes, Sacred Bonds, navigating the depths of Muslim matrimony and the family. You don't want to miss this one. Please stay tuned. Streaming on all major platforms right here on Sunnahfollowers.net.
Alhamdulillah, wa salam Allah wa Rasulullah. We have a really good class today. This is our class on the sacred bonds, taken from the book written by one of my students, Brother Darrell Kirk. Please make sure, for those of you who have not yet purchased this book, go to Amazon and get a copy. It's only $13. And with all you women with questions about marriage, so many Muslim women and men do not know the fiqh of marriage. They don't know the rules concerning marriage, or the guidelines concerning marriage. You know, it's very, very important that you get this book, because this book may make it easier for you. I mean, it's just a shortened version that goes into detail, you know, about the conditions of a marriage contract. And I want to also share with you guys that next week, inshallah, next Wednesday, I changed the date, and I have to remember to change it on the ad too that I'm going to put out. Next Wednesday, we're going to have a special presentation from Dr. Dramali. He's going to be speaking about the pillars of the marriage contract and the conditions of a valid marriage contract, because one of the problems that we are facing as dawah here in America is that most Muslims are getting married and your marriages are not valid. You're marrying without a guardian, you know, and we talked about that the other day. No marriage is accepted. Your marriage is invalid unless you have a guardian, if you are a woman. And that guardian cannot be a kafir, a non-Muslim. And if your family is Muslim, your father is Muslim, I keep telling you, sisters, over and over, you cannot replace your father as your guardian. I don't know what's going on today. Well, I do know it's the signs of the last hour. A lot of you young girls are running away from home, marrying men, you know, because your father told you no and all this nonsense. Guess what? You're an adulteress. You're a fornicator. Any children that you have are born illegitimate. They're not legitimate. They don't have the right to share the name of the father. None of that. So you sisters have to be careful. Before you jump up and sow your oats, as they say. You need to learn how to sow them. That's the problem today. We don't take the time to learn how, because we're living in a non-Muslim environment, and we have taken on the character, the attitude, the behavior of the non-Muslim women. We don't have the haya, the modesty that we're supposed to have. We look like them. We dress like those women. We speak like them. And now we're living like them illegitimately with men. So it's very important. I would strongly encourage you to go to Amazon, buy this book, The Sacred Bonds. It's only $13. It's written by Darrell Abdullah Kirk, and he goes over the things that you need to have intact in order for a marriage to be valid. And it doesn't matter what age you are. As some of the sisters are typing here, it don't matter. I'm 63 years old. I am 63 years old. I repeat, I know y'all find it hard to believe, and especially you, brother, in United Arab Emirates. What are you doing here? Go to sleep. This is my show. This ain't your show. You got your own talk show. I'm 63, no lie. You got a white beard. Guess what? I don't have no white anything, but alhamdulillah, I'm older than you. Oh, yes. But even a woman my age, I cannot get married without a guardian. Did you guys know that? I cannot get married without a guardian. If I want to get married, I got to go to one of my brothers. I got brothers. My father's deceased, but I got brothers. I have to go to one of my brothers for marriage. Okay? The only difference with a woman who has been previously married is this: they have no right to refuse me. If they do refuse me, I still cannot go behind their back. If they do refuse me, I have a right to go to a judge, a Muslim judge who specializes in marriage and divorce, and tell him, I'm 63. I'm half dead. Little bro won't let me get married. Little bro wants me to be his mama. And in that case, the Islamic judge, the Muslim judge, would contact my brother. And he would say, what is your problem? Why are you denying your sister the right to marriage? Don't you know you ain't got no right to deny her? She's 63, half dead. Let her go ahead and sow her oats. You know, that's the only difference. But even still, you know, 9 times out of 10, the Muslim judge would be able to convince your guardian, your father, your brother, your uncle, or your cousin, whoever it is. They would be able to 9 times out of 10 convince them to allow you to get married. And if they can't convince them, then that's when the judge would step in. That's when the judge will say, well, I'm going to overrule you, little bro, because she's a grown woman. She has the right to be happy. So I am going to do her marriage. But it can't be done out of secret behind nobody's back. Is that understood with everyone? Because I don't know what's going on with you sisters. I understand that some of you have been calling Dr. Jamali. The word got out. The word got out. You all found out that Dr. Jamali is an Islamic jurist. He's an Islamic jurist who specializes in marriage and divorce. Some of y'all found that out and started calling him. And I heard that y'all said, Laila said y'all don't need a guardian. I have never in my life, by the way, I'm not a convert to this deen, although being a convert ain't bad. I told y'all, I've been learning this religion since I was 6 years old. I attended a conference when I was 12 that the brothers from Brooklyn, New York, came to Cleveland, and their wives and sisters, their mosque. I had to do a lecture for the women, no men, just all women and children. My lecture was the fiqh of marriage, and I was 12 years old. So I'm not like these internet, what they call them, internet influencers. These little women that are Muslim. I'm going to do a tutorial on how to put on makeup. I'm going to do a tutorial on how to wear a hijab, or I'm going to cover my face and interview famous celebrities. I'm not one of those wannabe wasted women who are just burning their way to the hellfire for themselves. You know, I'm qualified and bona fide to teach Islam. Been teaching it for quite some time. Oh, yeah. And I know the basics of this deen. I know the fiqh of marriage, divorce, and all that other stuff that you should know as a Muslim woman and you don't know. All right? So don't get it twisted when y'all be calling up people. And I want y'all to understand, not only am I an elderly woman who have been doing dawah for over 50 years, not only have I learned from true scholars of Islam, I ain't no internet learner. I didn't teach myself. I had real, bona fide, well-known scholars who gave me ijazah. Oh yeah, this is the real McCoy. But not only that, but understand, guys, all of my classes, as you all know, I've been teaching on the internet since 1986. All my lectures, all my classes are live and I record them. They're all put on the internet. So anything I say, you can go find the video. That's why I have 2 sets of videos. The live is uncensored. Oh yeah, I'm an investigator. Remember that. My live lectures are uncensored. Why? Because that's my dalil. That's the proof that people can't say that I said things I didn't say. Or if I did say something wrong, I can hear it and say, wow, what was wrong with me? I must have been asleep. Must have been working overtime. Oh, I'll correct it. Okay. Then I have the second set that is censored for the students who want to just hear the class instead of all of this that preludes the class. Okay. So when you guys go calling people saying that Laila Nashiba at Sunnahfollowers said something, please have a copy of the audio with you. And by the way, we can tell if the audio's been tampered. Oh, I'm that good. Oh yeah, I'm that good. I can tell if you've tampered. I'm trained as an investigator. You think I ain't? Did it for 36 years. Oh yeah. So have your audio file with you to prove what you say. Otherwise, people are going to look at you like you're crazy, because even though you may not know who I am, they know who I am. Notorious. Hit it, Biggie. I'm notorious. The notorious Laila Nashiba. Not infamous. I mean, not famous. I am infamous, known as notorious. Okay? So they know who I am. All right. So just want to make that correction. And tonight's class is going to be good because since I heard you sisters are all upset about guardians, last week's class was about the guardian. And we talked in detail about that. For those of you who missed last week's class, go to the playlist. Go to the playlist called Sacred Bonds and listen to, it's entitled The Guardian. I went into detail about the conditions of a guardian, okay? Today, we're going to go into the rights of the wife. Because we covered the guardian, the dowry. Oh, let me ask you, let me give you a quick quiz. What are the conditions of a valid marriage contract? Who can just tell us briefly, what are the conditions in order for a marriage to be considered legal in Islam? What are the conditions of a valid marriage contract? Who can tell us? Wake up, Zoom room, and get on the mic. And remember, I might not be here next week. Who's going to lead the show when I'm not here? As y'all can see, it won't be no show.
Every Muslim should have a diary. Every Muslim woman should have a diary. And every Muslim woman should have a contract. Oh, a wali first. I'm sorry. Did I say a wali?
Okay, let's start from the beginning. What are the conditions of a valid marriage contract? In order for a marriage contract to be legal in Islam, what are the things? And I'm going to just make it easier. There's 4 things. What are the 4 conditions of a valid marriage contract? Wa alaikum salam, Brother Tashri. I'm glad you're here because you brothers, and by the way, the brother from the Emirates, I'm not mentioning your name. You need to settle down. Let these converts answer. You speak Arabic. Let them answer. That's on that program. Yeah, Brother Tashri, let me hear. What are the conditions of a valid marriage contract? No, I'm not going to have you live on here with me. The brother in the Emirates want to know, can he come on in my Zoom room and get live? No, this is my class. You got your own show, bro.
Can I try?
Who is that? That ain't him, is it?
No, it's Khalid.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, did he come in here to think he going to take my show over? Oh, heck no. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's guardian, dowry, and consent of the women
Wow, that's pretty good.
and witnesses.
And what's the rest? Let me hear it all. That's the two brothers here. Go ahead. That wasn't that brother, is it? That's y'all, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. It's to name the conditions again.
So it's guardian, dowry, consent of the women, and witnesses.
What do y'all think about his answer? He said the 4 conditions. What y'all think? Let me hear, see what you type. You have to have a dowry. You have to have the consent of the woman. And what was the other he said? 2 witnesses. And what's the other?
It was guardian, dowry, consent of the woman, and witnesses.
Wally.
Okay, so what did he leave out? That's what I want to hear. What did he leave out?
You left out the Wally. I thought I heard him say it though.
Yes, that's the thing. You have to have a wali, baby. You have to have a wali. And this is what I don't want you guys to ever forget. For some reason, here in America, American Muslims are getting married without guardians. I don't know when this innovation started. I don't know who's approved it. Maybe it's the brothers from Harvard down in Texas. Y'all know. Are the Texan brothers telling y'all don't need a guardian, Geechee? Geechee, is that where they getting this from? Are those imams in Texas telling y'all that y'all don't need a guardian?
I said guardian, but I thought the guardian and the wali was like the same thing.
It is. I didn't know. I didn't hear it though, baby. Yeah, you did a good job. Exactly. I don't know if those brothers in Texas are telling y'all that or not, but you got to have a guardian. Guardian is the English word for wali. Good job. And the 2 witnesses. Good job, Tazri. Okay, what else?
Oh yeah, and you have to enter induction. Everybody have to know to announce it with the walima.
That's the thing that I was waiting on. Why didn't nobody mention the walima? And we're going to talk about that. That's another thing. And Dr. Dramali talked about that. The so-called secret lover, secret marriages. It's haram. Allah says in the Quran, do not take women as paramours. For the brother in the UK in the Emirates with his own show trying to get in here. What does paramour mean in Arabic? Type it. You can't take a woman as a lover, a paramour, which means a lover. It has to be known. The marriage must be announced. Y'all understand that? Ain't no secret love here. But answer this question. Let me ask y'all this. Say, for example, a brother has 3 wives and he wants to marry another woman, but he knows that if he marries her, the other 3 wives are going to act crazy. You know how we women get. We women are crazy. They're going to start acting crazy with all that female drama, getting the kids all involved. Oh, God, I've been there, done that. How many of you women been there and done it? Getting the kids involved. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah, I've done that. Mr. Brother in Emirates, I've been there. So, what about this? The man's going to marry this sister. And he tells her, I'm going to do the walima. We're going to have the walima at your mosque. And let's say she lives in a different city. She lives in Los Angeles. His other wives live in Miami Beach, Florida. That's good distance. That's real good distance. So he says, I don't, need the drama in my life. You know that I got 3 other wives. He said, so I'm just going to have the walima here in LA with you. We're going to let the people in your masjid, your community know that we're married. But as far as me getting on the internet when I'm doing my lectures and saying, hey, I married Sabrina. Or as far as me going to when I go to Florida, going up there and telling everybody, y'all know I'm married to Sister Sabrine. I'm not doing that. He said, because I don't need that drama from them other women. And I don't need the drama that they're going to pull the card about the children. Is that legal in Islam? What do y'all think? Is that legal?
Yes.
Yes,
It's legal. Yep.
Does anybody think it's... Yeah, go ahead.
Other women don't need to know. The people that need to know is right there. And anyway, say that if you think something gonna cause a problem, you don't tell it.
Is there any dalil from the Quran or the Sunnah to support that? We're people of dalil.
I just tried to do it, Nashi, but you didn't hear me. You need to fix that. I said about it, if it's gonna cause a problem, you don't supposed to have to tell it. I don't know how to say it.
I mean, you got y'all's answer is right. You guys are right, but I'm testing y'all on y'all. I know your memory's bad. I'm testing y'all on the memory of the hadiths. Is there anything from the Sunnah? Come on, Norto, Yasmin, Fame, my students who've grown up here who are young. I ain't talking about the 80, 90-year-old women. I ain't even talking about Anissa. She old. You young girls, Isra, Faiza, what's the dalil? Is there any dalil that a man can do this, that he doesn't have to tell her? Tell them other wives. Can y'all think of any hadith that is similar to this? Mecosidic. Go ahead.
Did not Prophet Muhammad do that? If I can remember, this sister was in another town and he married her and nobody knew it.
Okay, I'm not asking about marrying in another town. That's not the question.
I said she was in another town, but he did not marry her.
No, that ain't the question. That's why I say the older women don't have to think. This is too hard for them to think. They're sickly. I'm looking for you young girls. Do we have a hadith? Go ahead, Mina.
I was going to say the hadith one where the Maria Ibrahim's mother had a problem. Wait a minute, I'm on the mic. When Ibrahim when the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam took his child to go see Aisha, and Aisha was like, "Oh, he don't look like you," or whatever. And then when the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam never brought his child back over there.
Okay, that's about the kids, but I want something specific. You guys have got a good example. Let's talk about that for a minute. Maria, may Allah be pleased with her. She was one of the right-hand possessions. She was not, I repeat, she was not, I repeat, she was not his wife. She was his right-hand possession. But even still, a man still has to provide and maintain his right-hand possessions, just like he has to his wives. He just doesn't have to be just in the amount of time he spends with them. And by the way, I understand some of you brothers out there in California. Let's talk about it. Some of you brothers out there in California are married to women and you calling them right-hand possessions. You men are sick. There are no right-hand possessions. Right-hand possessions are the prisoners of war. This is if we were fighting to establish Islam in the world. The women taken as captives are the right-hand possessions. What battle you done fought in? Ain't no caliph here. So what are you men in California doing married to women and calling them your right-hand possession? You brothers better go learn this thing. Oh, America's twisted. The famous brother here from the Emirates, he's in shock. Oh, yeah. You don't know what kind of crazy stuff go on over here in America. Oh, yeah. Islam is messed up. Do you hear me? While you other brothers are busy fighting and arguing and debating a religion with each other, calling each other's kafirs and all that, you got a woman here named Layla trying to do a man's job in a man's world known as America. Oh, yeah. Am I lying, Sabrine? Am I lying, people? Aren't there men that claim they got right-hand possessions here in America?
As we speak, so do baby.
Y'all hear that? I ain't making this up.
They saying it, but it ain't true.
That's right. While you brothers are busy calling each other kafirs and fighting, I'm the dawah. This woman here is trying to hold down and call to the sunnah. I'm dealing with the problems here. Y'all in other people's business, calling the governments of other countries kafir and all. Ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah, I'm with you on that, bro. I don't believe in that speaking out against the government crap either. I support you on that, okay? But American Muslims need to deal with the problems here in America because it's sick. Islam is off the hook here. So let me share the hadith with you guys again. Remember the hadith of Abu Talha and his wife. Is that a clue? His wife. She had a baby. That baby became sick. Abu Talha had to go on a trip because he was a merchant. The baby was sick. So, he went out of town. And while he was gone, the baby died. The baby died. When Abu Talha got back, his wife told her servants, she said, don't tell Abu Talha that the baby died. She said, because he had a hard trip. She said, let me calm him down and get him to relax and let me tell him myself. So she cooked food for him. Okay? She massaged him. She did her wifely duty to him. You know what I'm talking about. And she let him sleep. Then the next morning, when he asked, because he had asked her how was our son when he got home, she said, oh, he's sleeping. She told him he's okay, he's sleeping. And after she did her wifely duties to him, and the next morning, he said, I want to see my son. And that's when she told him, your son died while you were gone. Abu Talha was so angry. He said, you sick woman. He left and went to the prophet. He said, oh, prophet of Allah, listen to what this crazy woman did to me and what she lied to me. And the prophet said, calm down, Shway, calm down. Yeah, now you remember the hadith, bro. You learn from this Arab American that doesn't speak Arabic, don't you? All right. After the prophet told him, he said, Subhanallah. He said, Subhanallah. What your wife did, she held this information back from you because she didn't want to hurt you. She didn't want to bring dissension into the family. She was looking out for the best for you. He said, and guess what? Because of the sacrifice she made, your wife is carrying another child in her stomach as we speak. So that hadith and that story there shows that, a man, or a woman, if it's going to keep the marriage, from going crazy, they don't have to share a hurtful news with you. Do you sisters understand that? Your husband knows that if he told you that he married a fourth wife, you're going to act stupid. And let's just get real. I'm a woman. Y'all know we jealous. God, ain't nobody more jealous than I am. I'm extremely jealous, but I know polygamy is part of my way of life, and I don't have a problem with it. Always did it. Okay? I have conditions, though. Keep them away from me. But I deal with it. So if your husband, a lot of women ask that question, does he have to tell me he got another wife? No, he ain't got to tell you. Especially if he know how ignorant you're going to act. And I'm sorry, a lot of us women act ignorant. And we do that. We play the children against our husbands. We get the children involved. And we end up in divorce. So no, he ain't got to tell you. Does everybody understand that? What about this? Let me ask this question. The man doesn't have to tell the other wives that he married another wife. But what about this? Say a man has 2 or 3 wives and he's getting ready to marry you. And he says, I don't have any wives. You ask him, are you married? Do you have any other wives? He knows that if he tells you that he has another wife, you ain't gonna marry him. So can he lie and tell you, nope, I'm single? Can he do that? What do y'all think?
No. Yeah.
What do y'all think?
No, he should
No,
not.
he can.
That's no, he should not do that.
Why not?
Because this woman has.
I don't want to hear all that. It's a simple answer. Why is it that he can't do that? Yeah, good job, Miss Jackson. Why is lying like this not allowed? What's this called? What kind of lying is that? Is that lying to keep the peace? Is that lying to keep the peace? What is it?
That's lying to save his behind because he wants what he wants, but I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, I need to hear it better. Better wording. What type of lying is that? There you go. It's called deceit. We cannot deceive people. We can't put up a false pretense. Allah hates deceitfulness. This is one of the evil characteristics of Shaitan. He's deceitful. That's not the same as telling a white fib like Abraham alayhi salam did when he told his wife Sarah to tell the prince, the king of Egypt, that you are my sister. She is his sister in faith. It's not the same as me telling, just keeping that information. I'm not deceiving anybody. I just didn't tell the other wives that I got another one. That's all. They didn't ask and I didn't tell them. I'm doing my job. I keep it moving. But this is deception. You're going to marry me, making me think that I'm the only woman you have. That's just like lying and telling me that you a virgin when you ain't. And by the way, women find out. We know. Okay? Some men think that a woman don't know that you ain't no virgin. Oh, that's bull crap. We know. Oh, yeah. We know when you've been with somebody too. Oh, yeah, we know. The older women do. We know. All right. What was the question?
Would that be keeping her a secret also? If he is, I don't have other wives, he's keeping her a secret?
She's breaking up. What is she saying, guys? I couldn't understand her.
Isn't that keeping her a secret?
How is it a secret if it's been? How is it a secret when it's been announced? Keeping somebody a secret means nobody in the world knows you're married. Didn't we already cover that? That's what we talked about. Being a secret means nobody knows you're married. Everybody know I'm married to you. I live in Los Angeles. Everybody know that I'm your boo and you mine. It's just that I'm not announcing it in Florida. That's not a secret. Does everybody understand that? Do y'all understand the difference? And I know a lot of you younger sisters, you're going to have to open up your brains. See, we women that are older, I'm 63. We done been there, done that 20,000 times, literally. And by the way, I ain't available. You understand? You know what I'm talking to. Y'all can stop that typing. I'm off the market. Ain't available to you. So stop it. But anyway, a secret marriage is when you marry someone and nobody knows you married. She's just a lover. She's just a sex toy. Nobody knows. Not her family, not her friends, not the masjid. It wasn't announced nowhere. You just went and just married her alone. That's haram. But if you marry me and it's announced at my mosque and came to the walima, how is that a secret? That ain't no secret. He don't have to tell his other wives because they crazy. The other wives is going to act crazy. They're going to threaten to leave him. They're going to pull the children away from him. They're going to try to turn their daughters and sons against him. Allah says you can protect your family. That's his job as a man. It's the man's job to protect the family. Every man is supposed to know the nature of his women. Oh, the brother here in the Emirates said he ain't never heard nobody break it down like this. That's right. Welcome to America. Hello, drop a bomb. Boom. All right. No, I'm not coming on your show either. Your show got too much fitna. No, I ain't into the fitna. But anyway, like I was saying, every man is supposed to know each of his wives. You know that your wives are crazy? That they're going to use those children, destroy the family because they can't get their emotions under control? It's your job as a man to protect them. So you ain't got to tell them nothing. But you can't tell the woman you marry that you single. You can't make her think that you virgin and single. You got to tell her, I got 3 other wives. But you ain't got to worry about them. You'll never meet them. Inshallah, they'll never meet you. Inshallah, you will never meet them. You in LA, they in Miami, Florida. So whoop-de-doo. It's about you and me, babe. I got you, babe. Y'all remember that, Sonny and Cher? I got you. Get the lights out, the candles. Y'all understand that, sisters? Because polygamy is not the man's problem. I mean, the woman's problem. It's the man's problem. And if he's a good man, long as he's still doing what he's supposed to do for you, he can pull it off. But that's the problem. A lot of men like to boast and brag, and they can't pull it off. People end up finding out. They end up losing their Cupid dowels. Oh, yeah. Polygamy, it's a trip. But the bottom line, you got to have a guardian. The marriage must be announced. It can't be a secret. If the marriage is announced somewhere, then you're good. It doesn't have to be in your hometown. It can be in Africa. Long as she ain't no secret. Y'all understand that? Any questions on that? Is that clear, young girls? Take it from the older woman here. Young girls. Questions, comments, and the dowry. Who does the dowry belong to? The father? The family? Who does the dowry belong to? Anyone?
The woman.
And what's the purpose of the dowry?
So if things doesn't work out, she can have that money to do whatever she need to do with it to get herself back on her feet.
Exactly. If I were you sisters, I'd hold on to that dowry for a minute because you never know. You're not going to know a person until you marry him. You might marry a brother. This has happened. A couple of my students, a couple of my young girls got married when they were 18 and didn't know that the men were bipolar. They end up marrying some dude that their father hooked them up with, and the man stopped taking their medicine and went crazy on them. And they had to buy the divorce, buy their way out of that. They had to pay back the dowry. Oh, yeah. If a woman divorces a man, that's called a kula. You got to pay that dowry back. Okay? So be careful with that dowry. You know, make sure you don't set it too high, nor do you set it too low. You better make it feasible where you can pay it back if you have to. And I would hold on to it for a minute. Oh, yeah. I would hold on to it for a minute, and at least for a year, to see if the dude is okay. He might be bipolar. If he is, you'll know in 3 months. If he got AIDS, you'll know in 3 months too. You might want to hold on to him then, though, because ain't nobody else you can marry if he got the AIDS. Everybody understand that? And you got to be careful with that. We got a big problem here in America, certain cities with AIDS. Y'all know that. Philadelphia. You Muslim women in Philadelphia, be careful. These brothers are lying and forging their results. Oh, yeah. Like I said, a lot of problems here in America. Big time. We ain't got no business sticking our nose in what's going on overseas when the ummah here in America is messed up, twisted. Oh, yeah. All right. So dowry, guardian, witnesses. walima. Get out of here, cat. Those are the conditions of the valid marriage contract. Brother Tashri said he ain't got no problems. Good job. Brother Tashri, inshallah, may Allah bless you with a beautiful, intelligent, Muslim, down, practicing Muslim woman. Inshallah. You're probably too young to get married anyway. How old are you, Brother Tashri? I got some little young girls in here. Where you from with that name? You Afghanistan? I got a couple Afghanis in here. I'm always trying to get my little students married. All right. Oh, yeah, Norto's available. The twins. Okay. All right. So today what I'm going to do, guys, we're going to cover this chapter of the book, which is chapter 10, but I am only going to cover the first part. And Mina, write this down so I don't forget next week. I'm not going to do the whole chapter because it's so much information. This chapter speaks about the rights of the wife. And I'm just going to cover the first right, which is to her own finances. So write it down, Mina, that I'm only covering the finances of chapter 10. So when I do the class again, I continue that chapter because I be done forgot. Okay, let me put the PowerPoint up on the screen so y'all can see it. Give me a second. Here we go. All right. There you go. I'm going to try to make it big so I can read it better because I don't know what's going on. My light, I need to get some new light bulbs. The light bulbs in my room are dim for some reason. I need to brighten them up. So, y'all, I need to look at the screen when I'm teaching this so I can see better. Keep telling y'all, I wear contact lenses. Yeah, I wear contacts. I'm an old woman. Can't see that screen. Okay, y'all see that? So today we're going, let me put this down. That's, by the way, that's the book. That's the book. Go to Amazon.com. It's called Sacred Bonds. That's the book. It's only $13. All of you young girls should have a copy of this book, you brothers too, so you would know the rights of wives and husbands in marriage. So we're going to look at the rights of women, of the wives in marriage in this chapter. Let me get my little mouse over here. Okay, y'all ready for it? Here we go. We always like to start off, let me move this Zoom thing. Boy, this Zoom gets in the way. We always like to start off with a verse of the Quran. Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning, and amongst his signs is this, that he created for you wives from amongst yourselves, so that you may find comfort in them. And he has put between you affection and mercy. Verily, in that are indeed signs for people who believe and reflect. Okay, so Allah is telling us in this verse, basically, that he created us, male and female, for a reason. Not to hook up with the same gender. This ain't no LGBTQ way of life. He created us of opposite sexes, gave us different roles, gave us different weaknesses, different strengths, so that we can complement each other and find contentment with each other and live together in love and respect and mercy. To have someone to talk about your problems to have somebody to come and unleash, unleash the hardships of life to. So being united in marriage is indeed a great undertaking, guys. And it's a beautiful thing when it's done correctly. I can tell you, as a Muslim woman who have been living on my own for the past 30 years, my God, almost 30 years, subhanAllah, it's hard not having nobody to talk to, not having a man to protect you, not having a man to call you his boo and just hold you, comfort you, encourage you to get up and do your dawah, to give you tips on how to do your dawah, to teach you how to pronounce Arabic words correctly, like maqasidic, and el wala wal bara. You know, so being united in marriage is a beautiful thing when it's done correctly. And the only way it's done correctly is if we do it abiding by the laws and conditions that Allah has set forth. And to ensure justice and harmony in this union, Allah not only tells us what validates a marriage, but He has also defined the roles of husbands. And He defined the roles of wives and told us what our rights are to each other. And so what we're going to do in this chapter, which is chapter 10 of the book, we're going to explore the rights that Allah has given the women first. The women first. And today I'm just going to keep it on one of this right here. This is the financial rights. So today we're going to discuss the financial rights that a woman has over her husband. And I want you brothers to pay attention because this is a big problem in America. Most of you brothers have fallen short in your rights. You do not take care of the women like you were supposed to. Most Muslim women are out there working when they shouldn't be. They're working trying to make ends meet because the husbands, many of them are sitting up on the internet pretending to be scholars. Big problem. Or they just too shiftless and lazy to go out and get a job. So the first right that women have over their husband is the right for the man to provide, maintain, and accommodate her. Okay? Also, fair treatment amongst co-wives. What does that mean? That doesn't mean because you got 3 wives, whenever you buy for one, you buy for the other. Like a lot of American Muslims think that means. No. Fair treatment means you have to be just in the time you spend with each wife. If you're going to spend 3 days with me, you have to spend 3 days with her and 3 days with her. You can't give more time to one wife over the other. And you have to treat me with respect and decency publicly, just as you treat her. If we're at the mosque together, you can't sit there and pretend like I don't exist and not acknowledge me. But when you go to the mosque with the other wife, you got your arm around her and you're acknowledging her. No, we have to be treated with decency. That's for you brothers that do polygamy. And this is not happening here in America a lot. A lot of times, you know, we got co-wives that are sitting back crying and miserable because they haven't seen a husband in 3 months. The husband talks to them, calls them the B word. Oh, yeah, that's a big problem. That B word going around. Okay? And I ain't talking about bent either. Although you shouldn't call them bent either. That's disrespecting them and their father. Okay? So also, when we talk about financial rights, and this is a big thing, every woman in Islam is supposed to be financially supported by her husband unless she signs away from that. What do I mean by that? Unless she gives up that right. There's such a shortage of husbands that there's a lot of elderly women who are independent, who are self-sufficient, and they'll tell the man, all I need is companionship. There's nothing that you can do for me financially that I can't and haven't done for myself. I just need the love. I need the attention. So they may say, you don't have to financially take care of me. I am independent. I have my own home, my own car, my own falus, everything. So I don't need that. So unless she signs that away, you're supposed to be her provider and her maintainer. And you young girls would be stupid and foolish to sign that right away. Like I said, the only women I can see doing that are the elderly women. And when I say elderly, I mean 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, because these women are established. And we got a lot of elderly women that look good, that look better than these young girls, because they know how to take care of themselves and know how to hold it down. Hello, without the drama. So don't get it twisted. Okay? So, but this comes with a condition, and we talked about this hadith in another class. The condition of maintenance is you cannot refuse your husband sexually. How many of you young girls are refusing your husband sexually? I'm going to make him sleep on the couch. Oh yeah, I hear this a lot. I'm going to make him sleep on the couch. Well, guess what? Because you making your husband sleep on the couch, he ain't got to pay your rent this month. He ain't got to buy your food. He don't have to pay your credit cards. He ain't got to pay your car note. He ain't got to buy no clothes for you or nothing. That's the condition. And I want you brothers to realize that if your wives refuse to sleep with you, then you no longer are obligated to take care of them. Y'all see how Islam is a check and balance. Listen to what Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning. Men are the protectors and the maintainers of women. Why? Because Allah has given them more strength, and because they support them from their own means. When I see all these young Muslim girls working, you got babies and you're not home with your children, this is sad, because that's not your job to work. That's your husband's job. Your husband wants a nice house. He wants a nice car. He can go get 2, 3, 4 jobs. In fact, y'all don't want him taking 2, 3, 4 wives. Make him work 2, 3, 4 jobs. He'll be too tired to think about another wife. It's your job to stay at home. You sisters are making it easy for your husbands. Take it from this old woman here. You young girls are making it too easy for your husbands. You out working because you want to have a nice house and you want to have your own money. When while you working, your husband is bored. He's going to find 2, 3, or 4. I know I would. And I tell you to hit the dough. 2, 3, 4, hit the dough. Time to replace her. Allah knew exactly what he was doing when he didn't make Layla man. Oh yeah, I had 4. I sure would. I probably replace them from time to time. That's just Layla. But anyway, so it's the man's job to work. It's your job to stay home and take care of the house, make sure the bills get paid, and educate those children and educate yourselves. And that's how we're blowing it here in America. I see too many young couples get married. They both working. She gets pregnant. She takes off work to have her baby. She goes back to work. And the kid is growing up, you know, exposed to this American culture. And the kid has no Muslim identity. We can blame ourselves for that. And not only is the man obligated to support you, but guess what? Islam allows for a woman to have her own money and her own property. What belongs to you is yours. It does not belong to him. Whatever money you have, whatever you inherited, whatever business you own, you can own a Starbucks. I tell you, I'm going to open up me a Starbucks when I get these bills paid off. Whatever company you have is yours. Whatever house you own is yours. That's why there's no need for a Muslim woman to be talking about women's rights. Allah has given you rights. Okay? And whatever money you do contribute to the home is considered charity. Do you sisters understand that? It's not your job to pay the rent. It's not your job to buy the food. Even if you were working, even if you are working, it's still your husband's job to pay the rent, your husband's job to pay the cars, your husband's job to buy the food. And if you decide to help him, Allah will have it written down as a charity for you. Does everybody understand that? And this is not to demean men, but it shows how Allah has raised us women up to a position of dignity and responsibility. Okay? And it also helps to keep men men. And this is the problem today here in America. It's hard to find a man. We have a lot of single Muslim sisters who are single by choice. They'll tell you, why ain't you got married, Layla? Where? Show me a man. Where are all the men? Either they dead or they in jail. Where are the men? Show me a man and I'll get married in a heartbeat. Most men don't want to work. They don't want to provide. They don't want to maintain. They want you to go out and get a job. They want to get on the internet. What's the term? They want to be internet media influencers, looking for the easy ticket to hell. Okay? And again, Allah gives us the foundation of the man's financial responsibilities. Listen to what Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning. Men are the protectors and maintainers of women. Here's my dalil. Why? Because Allah has given them the strength over the other. And because they spend, wrong mouse, right? Spend to protect them. So here, this verse establishes the principle that men are responsible for the financial affairs of the whole family, not just the wife, the children too. And where's the dalil that my money is mine and not him? Here it is. Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning, and do not wish for things in which Allah has made some of you to excel others. For men, there is reward in what they have earned. And likewise, for women, there is reward for what they have earned. There's your dalil. And ask Allah of his blessings. So a woman's money is hers. If she wants to contribute to help you with the household expenses, it's a charity for her. Everybody understand that? So, these Quranic verses provide a clear proof for the principles that a wife has full control over her money and property, and that a husband is obligated to financially support his wife, prioritizing her needs even above those of his parents. And let me talk about that for a minute, because this is another problem with the Muslims from Africa that come to America. Let me make my screen a little bigger because I got to get real about this. I got a sister here who called me about this today. Another fitan that's impact the ummah here in America. A lot of Muslims migrate here from Muslim countries in Africa or Syria or the Middle East in general. And the men will make their wives go out and work. The men work too, but the men are taking their money, sending it back home to Egypt. Oh yeah. Sending it back home to Ghana. They're taking all their paychecks, sending it to their mother and their sisters. Nope. This is wrong. And making their wives work and pay the rent and the other bills. This is haram. This is wrong. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the people, he was asked, what's the source? Bukhari and Muslim. A man came to the Prophet and asked the Prophet, who is more entitled to my money, my mother or my wife? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, your mother is entitled to your time, but your wife is entitled to your money, your wife and your children. He said, once a man marries, your immediate family is your wife and children. He said, after you fulfill the needs of your wives and children, then whatever money you have left, you can give to your parents. That hadith is Bukhari and Muslim. It's clear. So I don't know where you brothers are getting this from. You're making your wives work like animals while you work and send all your engineering money to your family back home. No, you women need to quit your jobs. That's why I tell it, you young sisters, y'all make it too easy for these brothers today. Y'all got to stop trying to be like the Kardashians. Stop trying to be like Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. You know, stop trying to be like the non-Muslim women and instead be like Aisha radiallahu anha. Be like the Muslim women that Allah has leveled us up to be, not the non-Muslim women. Stay at home. If you want to work, work from home. But don't go out and work. Make him do that. That's his job. And don't pay the bills. That ain't your job to pay the bills. That ain't your job to buy the food. That ain't your job. That's his job. Y'all giving these men the reason to do what else with their money. Y'all got to stop making it easy for them because you don't know your rights. That's why I'm telling y'all, buy this book. Buy this book, you young girls and you young men, so you will know what your rights are. Okay. So the mother, she's deserving of your time. You can go spend all day with your mama, just long as you make sure that the paycheck is with your wife. Everybody understand that? And if you sisters know like I know, tell them go. Go visit your mama. I don't care. Just make sure you leave me some money so I can go shopping. That's all. Check and balance. That's Islam. Okay? Islam is a beautiful culture, a beautiful way of life. Allah has checked and balanced everything. Also, by us abiding by the laws and rules of Allah, it challenges the notion that a husband has automatic rights over his wife's money, which he doesn't. If we learn our deen, you sisters will see your husband ain't got no rights over your money. But again, there's a check and balance. If a woman is too loose in her spending, if a woman just throws money away, because Allah hates waste, Allah hates extravagance. In that case, then the man can, step up and tell you, hey, wait a minute, we ain't gonna have this. I know your money is yours, but you spent $1,000 on a pillow. That's just ludicrous. Because again, remember, the man is the protector over you. He's the imam over you. He's the leader over you. Remember, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, everyone is a guardian and responsible for his charges. The ruler who has authority over the people is a guardian and responsible for them. A man is the guardian of his family and responsible for them. A woman is the guardian of her husband's home and children and responsible for them. So if your husband sees that you are throwing your money away, he can step in. Oh yes, he can step in and say, hey, you got to stop this. Because I ain't going to hell because you threw $1,000 away on a pillow. Do you sisters understand that? Check and balance. Allah doesn't give too much power to anyone. So these are the rights that Allah has empowered women with. One of the rights, financial. You have a right to your own money. You have a right to your own property. And the man, your husband, is the provider and maintainer over you. A Muslim woman doesn't have to work. In fact, she shouldn't work, because taking care of the home and the children is a lot of work in and of itself. Take it from me. I just retired. I had to work for 36 years because I didn't have no husband to take care of me. And I don't live in no projects. Sorry. I'm an uptown girl. I'm an uptown girl. I ain't got time for the low life. But now that I don't have to work, subhanallah, mashallah, alhamdulillah. I want y'all to look at this verse. Allah says in the interpretation, the meaning, the father of the child shall bear the cost of the mother's food and clothing on a reasonable basis. This is more proof from the Quran that it's your husband's job to buy the clothes here, not your job. Some of you sisters are working and you're telling me that your husbands are telling you that you have to buy the clothes for your kids. Also, Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning, let the rich man spend according to his means. And for the man whose resources are restricted, let him spend according to what Allah has given him. These are all dalil. I don't even have to go into the hadiths. These are all dalil from the Quran that you as a Muslim woman are not the breadwinner of the family. Your husband is. You need to stay home, because we're going to talk about the rights of those children. A lot of us women, when the angel of death comes to pull our soul, they're going to say to a lot of us, why did you fail your children? You're going to be like, what do you mean? Allah outlined the responsibilities of women, and he outlined the responsibilities of men. Allah allowed you to live for 50 years on this earth, and you chose to not learn what those roles were. You neglected your children. You were so caught up in this dunya because you loved money. You wanted to be Nicki Minaj. You wanted to be like the Kardashians when you should have been trying to keep up with the Abdullahs. So now your children grew up. Your children do not practice Islam. They didn't have a mother to teach them the Fatiha. They didn't have a mother who was at home to teach them how to be believers. So now you got to answer to Allah. I'm letting you know, you're getting ready to do some time in hell until the day of judgment, because you failed in your responsibility as a mother. Hello. That's going to be the fate for a lot of us women.